This is my journal entry for Saturday, January 3rd, 2026. And I thought I was just going to rest and relax this day. But that's not what happened. um, I'm going to start by, I've got my notes here. I'm going to start by saying something so I don't forget. Is that when I went out to get my free breakfast this morning, I guess it was less than 20 degrees or something. It was really cold. My feet were frozen. And so I waited a few minutes. There is a spam caller. Yeah, this is another thing. Thank you. Spam callers for Medicaid. They're calling again. I'm not going to close this video. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the spam... Yeah, thank you, Lord. They called me several times. And I took like an hour-long nap. During this nap, they called me like twice and ruined my nap. And I think God was trying to get me up, but still, ruined my nap. And then before I took a nap, I got another call. And then there was a 17 and some other stuff, and I think they added up to a 7 in this number. But it's just like the people from India that are paid to call us. I thought this was going to end at the beginning of the year because they were funded. They were funded by Obamacare, but now I guess they're still being sent. Maybe they extended Obamacare funding or something, or maybe they still had some money left, and so they're still calling us. I don't know. Anyways, when I went to the breakfast, my feet were like frozen when I got back, and so I'm going to mention later about someone gave me gloves, and I probably did need them, because if I didn't have them, maybe my hands would have got too cold. I don't know. Or maybe it was like accepting a mission. Anyways, I thought this is Saturday. I'm just gonna get some free breakfast, maybe get my bike fixed, and then I'm just gonna like stay home and like rest. No, that's not what happened. That is not what happened. I know God's not going to allow anything to happen the way that it's supposed to. It's like, is any of this real? Is this a simulation? Are these real people? Or is it just like a bunch of bots and NPCs and things, and then it's only me? I really hope to God not. I hope not. I hope these are other real beings with their own spirits and souls and identities, and it's not just robot. I think they are, but anyways, let's see. I gotta start, so I wrote some right at the top so I wouldn't forget. So there was a free breakfast at 9 a.m. in the parking lot at the soup kitchen. Now, I thought, I'm going to say honestly, I thought it would be a little better than what it was. I'm not trying to be greedy or selfish. Because they don't have to do anything at all, and they did try to give. They were giving. So I'm not trying to bash this. But I will get into later is that so they had a hot sandwich. That sandwich had ham on it, so I couldn't eat it, and none of us were supposed to eat it. And then they did have some peanut butter crackers and a candy bar, and then like a juice and a little hot chocolate. That's nice. But the sandwich was the main thing, and it had ham on it, so I didn't really get to eat. So I did get snacks. It's just like I want some real food, So I think I had a package of hot dogs I bought like 3 months ago or 2 months ago. It's still good. I was gonna make that when I'm done with this video. So I'm not trying to bash this. They didn't need to do anything at all. But this was like a big deal, and it was advertised at the soup kitchen. Like they mentioned it all throughout the week, that there's going to be a breakfast here, and then, and it's this church providing it. And it's nice of them to do that. And people did show up, and people ate the food. But unfortunately, it wasn't food that we're allowed to eat. It was forbidden food, and it likely caused more harm than good. But they did bring some coats, and they brought some clothes and stuff, and some people got that, and they found things they could use. They brought toothbrushes, they brought soaps, they brought like things that some people will need. Not everybody can use, but some people can use. So I'm not trying to complain. I think that I'm just speaking and giving my honest opinion, because God put me in this situation to where I'm kind of living like a lot of the homeless people are. The heat is low in my house. My house is shabby, and a lot of the homeless people will go squat in a house. So honestly, some things are not too much different, especially if they go stay in the library during the day and they can use the internet in there. So then I'm just gonna say, like, God has me living in a state of not being able to get clean clothes, not being warm, not being comfortable, just not having my plumbing. I've been through it all. So I understand a lot of the plight of the homeless people, what they need, what services they need, what clothing they need. And other people don't know this. Well, this is something I'm going to mention. This was specifically mentioned again, so I got to write this down, about the women's homeless shelter, because they don't know. Here's a church getting donations, and they're using their money to go to third world countries and talk about God. But I think at this point, I'm just going to say, I think at this point, we already know. but there are people in this local community, and there's not a women's homeless shelter there. There's one, and it's always full. So there's nowhere for the women to stay. There was a place for the men to stay. This is the opposite of what the male spotter told me. He said there's a woman's one, but there's no men's. He lied. I've heard from like 3 different other people that it's the opposite. So the narcissist spotter has lied to me every case. I saw him pointing out my bike lights before they got stolen. I caught him lying to me. He's blocked me, and he also lied. It's like, but he's kind of silly, and he's not physically threatening or anything. He's on drugs, and he's a little spaced out, and he's a small man. But you just hear what he says and invert it, and the opposite is true. It's like, if you know anything about the kingdom of darkness, the men are beta males. They are not in charge, like, mostly. The serpents are. The serpent class is, though. Okay, I'm going to get back into this. So the breakfast was supposed to be at 9, and it was late. I got there at about right on time, and I expected there to be like other people and like some food set up, and I might be late and missing something. But no, the food wasn't there. There was a few people there. It's kind of a big parking lot, and there's people around the edges. There's maybe like 6 people there. And then there was a guy standing there I hadn't talked to, I hadn't seen before. He seemed like a nice guy, obviously had done some drugs. In the past, he was not on drugs right now. But you could tell he had done drugs in the past. And we were just talking a bit, like waiting on the food, and like he was like just waiting for the food, and like, I'm surprised it's not here yet, and then just got to talk a little bit. He's got some kids that are grown up, and they're doing great. They have good jobs and live in the city. So it's like the opposite of him. He said that, and he mentioned that there's no good women's homeless shelters. There's only one that's full. No one can get in. And he also mentioned that about like he was in. I don't know how this came up. He was talking. Oh, he said his ex. His ex. This is why his girlfriend, ex-wife, needed to get into a shelter, and there was none available. That's why it was brought up. And then somehow we were talking a little bit, and then he said, like, he didn't want to be alone, and, like, he knew what narcissists are. I said, you know what a narcissist is? Like, I know, and it's like his ex was, and, he was saying how, he knew, like, the people weren't good for him, but he feels bad for people, and he doesn't want to be alone. So then he just gets in relationships so he's not alone, and so he can help them. But they're narcissists. and then I told him, I think, you think God has somebody for you? For God made someone for everyone? He said, yes, I believe that. And so then I told him, well, God showed me that you have to have a period where you're single. You have to have, like, I don't know, 2 years where you have no partner. I think it's like a detox from dating, no narcissist. And so maybe he has never heard this before. He wasn't, like, surprised. He wasn't surprised. He received it right away. He's like, yeah, I know these people aren't good. I know these are narcissists. I just don't want to be alone. And I told him, And I said, to get that good person that God has for you, you have to be single, and I think it's 2 years. You have to be alone. And so that was maybe a mission there. I had to inform him because you could tell he's probably in a shell. Oh, he was in a shelter, and he's not like wealthy. He's but he wasn't on drugs right then, and I could tell he had a good personality. So he was like a good person in a bad situation, I believe. And addiction is a tough monster, a tough demon to beat. So that was supposed to happen, I think. Um, so then finally, I think about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes late, then the vehicle with the food, it's like a van, backs in. And they also have like a bunch of boxes with clothes and stuff, and then there's like drinks in the other vehicle. So they brought some stuff. It was nice of them to do this. It was a local church, and some people weren't involved in the church. Some just came and did it anyway. So let's see here. So the food came, and there was a few people in line, and then I started looking at the clothes they were putting out on the table first. Because I figure I'll get the food later. I don't need to be first in line, And if my hands get messy, I just was there and I started looking, because I was looking to see if they had socks, and I was saying, "Do you have any socks?" They're like, "Oh, we gave some away like last month." And then I mentioned, because there was two women there, and they were trying to be real helpful. They were putting all the clothes out, and so God just uses me to offend people. That's my job. I offend people, but at least I think I'm cute. I'm not threatening. I'm not threatening, so that's why I think I'm used to offend people. But anyways, like I'm looking for like socks, and you got any underwear? And, this is embarrassing. It's like, do you got any socks, underwear, something real warm? And like there was a lot of clothes, but most of them like they're not warm enough for this weather, and they're probably fine for somebody staying in a homeless shelter that just walks back and forth and then they're in the heat. For me, I get warmer clothes. So I was just looking, like, I was hoping they'd have more socks, and they said, well, we just gave some away, and they were being nice. And I said, for out here, it's hard to get your clothes cleaned. So I mentioned, and now she's made aware, we've got a big problem not being able to clean our clothes. We can't clean our clothes. There's like people give the clothes, wear them until they're filthy, and then they throw them in the garbage. This is what everyone does. There's no... What's this? It's 5:29. 9 plus 2 is 11. Plus 5 is 6. 1 plus 6 is 7. Oh my gosh. See, this is what they do. I even refreshed my tab so that it stopped. This isn't a regular phone. This is on my computer. And they call my computer phone number, so I don't know where they got this. Anyways, so then these two women were trying to be helpful and help me. And I said, I'm on a bike. I don't want to take, I don't want to take things I can't use. And I said, I'm really looking for like warm socks. You got some underwear? It's like nobody gives that away. You got some underwear? Do you got like something warm? And then they had a scarf, and I said, well, I can't really use a scarf, like, because I'm on the bike. So I actually don't need a scarf anyways. I bought some that like, it's one piece, so it can't like come loose and strangle you to death if you're on a bicycle. But anyways, but they were looking, and there was a few socks, but they weren't warm. They were like this fabric that's good for summertime. And so I mentioned I'm looking for warm, and they had a couple pairs of underwear, and I found one pair that might fit. So I'm going to say thank you. This is a blessing from the Lord. I am going to be really happy to have a clean, because actually I know this sounds like this is embarrassing, but I'm supposed to get rid of, you are too, stuff like if you were with the devil, I was with the devil. We're supposed to get rid of stuff they got us. And so I was a stay-at-home mom. Like all of that type of stuff like that I had, he had gotten. I just want to throw it in the garbage, but it would be nice if there's a way to get underwear. Like I actually went to when I was at the library, they had a booklet and it said food and clothes. Well, I guess I'm just gonna contact them all and see who has underwear, because I gotta like throw away all of my underwear because it all came from the devil. It's probably cursing me while I'm wearing it. I don't know. But anyways, and then they had like a nice hat, like a nice pink hat and that stuff, and I didn't need a hat. See, I got this already. So, I didn't take what I didn't need. They had a coat that was looked kind of warm, and I thought about trying it, but then I ended up not, because my normal bike is not working, and I don't have it, and that has the basket on the back, and and so I am on like a rickety bike now that doesn't work very well, but it's a little bit faster than walking. So I'm riding it anyways, and I kind of fixed the brakes a little bit. So like before there was no brakes at all, and now the brakes kind of work. I got them to work, and then I fixed the seat. It was going like this, and now I got the seat so it's staying level. So the bike still sucks, but and it kind of brakes now, and I can ride it. But it's just like I don't think that none of the gears work or anything. It's one speed now. So anyways, I had this, and then I just put a bag on the handle, like the guy did at Walmart. I just put the bag on the handle. I figured out how to do the handle, like the bag on the handle, so it doesn't like hit the wheel too much, and it wasn't hard to do. It's just I didn't think about that the first time. Let's see here. So they had the clothes, so they mentioned something they didn't know, which is we got a big problem being able to get our clothes cleaned. So maybe they will remember that, and if somebody is able to make some charity where they can wash clothing, this is difficult because, like, they would have to have some disclaimer if we lose something, we're not responsible, yeah, but it could, and people could be aware, like, or maybe here's a washing machine and it's available for people to use. And then I also found about the porta potties, they don't have them in the winter because they freeze. They might have them in the summer. So, let's see here. So, anyways, after I looked through it, and I got an underwear, and I got, like, they had these little, like, hotel soaps. They're small. They last, like, 1 or 2 showers. I got, like, 4 little bars of soap, and like, some soap thing, and a pair of underwear. Oh, and then I was looking at the gloves, and then they had one pair that was okay. It was like the cheap thin pair, and I said I'll take this one, but it wasn't very warm. So they had a lot of gloves, but but I didn't really need the gloves, but if I did, it would have to be a warm pair. And so the gloves they had just weren't really that warm. So maybe they were made aware, because I was not being rude, but I was just saying, like, I'm on a bike, I only want to take what I need. So, like, it's like, I was looking for warm clothes, socks, underwear. We need to be able to wash our clothes. So maybe, like, I don't know, like, God sends me in here to offend the shit out of people, giving of their own goodwill, helping others. They don't have to give a darn thing, but at least I've informed them of what we need. We need underwear, we need socks, we need somewhere to wash our clothes, and we need warm clothing. warm, like, there would be long sleeve, but it's like t-shirt material or something, and it's like, that's very nice. I said, well, this stuff will be great in a few months. So I'm saying that it'll be great in a few months. It's 20 degrees. I'm cold. So anyways, but they didn't have to give anything. And the bars of soap are nice. And then there's like this spray foam wash thing to use in the shower. I'm like, I tried it out. It's really nice. And I didn't get any more toothbrushes because I already got some. So the toothbrush actually will last for a while. That one pair of underwear, thank you. That was very useful. This is like used underwear that has been washed and is donated. Like, you can't get this at the thrift store. I know it sounds nuts, but like, this is what we need. Some people, they just go without, and then they wear their pants and then throw their pants away. That is not hygienic. I'm sorry, that is not hygienic. That is like, an extra layer. And I'm saying, for people that are homeless, for people that can't take a shower every day, they need underwear. Okay, if you have a bath, like, every day or two, you probably are fine. But a lot of people on the street, they need it. And so, it's just they get dirty, maybe after a week or so, they need underwear. I was going to say, they do. They don't have this. Back when I was charging stuff, like at the thrift store, they don't sell this. It makes sense they don't. But, like, there should be a charity that just gives away underwear, and a charity that gives away socks. It's like, there probably is. I don't know. I gotta look it up. There should be a charity that has a washing machine and you can bring your clothes. Like, wonderful. And a woman's shelter. A woman's shelter. Um, because apparently they have one, but this is a town of 35,000 people. It's not enough. And a lot of their other services, those are only for like addiction and like mental health. So if you don't happen to fall into those categories, like if you're not an addict, there are other services for addicts that are recovering. It's good that those exist. When I went to those meetings, though, I didn't notice, like, they were there in a safe environment. But I'm not sure they received all the help they needed. Or perhaps I just wasn't at the right place. So it was doing good. It was helping them. But for people that maybe just have, like, a health problem, or they were abused, or kicked out by their family, had to leave, like, there are other people that need help, and then they're not really able to find, like, help with all of the demon possessed people these days, like, and all the narcissists everywhere. And I was talking to the guy earlier, and I said, and the narcissists get in all the charities and the churches, and they sabotage things. And then they say things are fixed, or that you were being unreasonable. So God showed me this. The narcissists go and they get jobs at the church. The narcissists go get jobs at the charity. They even volunteer for free just to sabotage and make sure certain people don't get help. If they get help, it's the bare minimum. And then they look ungrateful if they say anything. God has shown me how all of this works. So we need to have multiple ways people can contact, and not just one point. Let's see here. Anyways, it was nice of them. They didn't need to give a single thing. They drove it there. They had a big table set up. Like, I saw a few nice hats, but I don't need a hat, so I didn't take one. And they had several pairs of gloves. And so I got a pair. I got some at Dollar Tree. And they had another one. And I'm like, this was about kind of like the quality of the Dollar Tree one. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll take this one. It wasn't very warm, but, like, it was kind of tight, so I could put it under another pair of gloves. And so they knew I was looking for warm things. And so later, one of the men so there was like 2 women and 2 men there, and then there was, I think, a couple women in the truck that were handing stuff out. But then one of the men there, I was over by the steps. I was like 15 feet away, I think, and then they hand over a pair of gloves. It was a warm pair of gloves. And I'm like, oh, thank you. So they gave me a warm pair of gloves. The man, it was his gloves. He took his gloves off and gave them to me. He took his gloves off and gave them to me. God bless you, sir. I hope this isn't a curse. But he mentioned the Holy Spirit, so I think he's a good one. I think he's a good man. It's normally when people give me things, it's to curse me. But I think maybe this time, this is a good man. maybe this was a good one. As he had a good disposition. He said, he's got more at home. So he took his own, there wasn't warm gloves there. He took his own gloves off while I was over, several feet away. And then they gave them. He gave them to the women. They gave them to me. They're like, oh, here. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you. So that was really nice. So anyways, so normally people have pork. If you eat pork, you have pork spirits. And then you get a little like this when somebody tells you not to eat pork. Or they get a little like they don't like you or something. They like a little evil. Or at least people are like, they defend it, but they're not good at it because they don't really know the Bible. Like, they kind of know it. They use certain verses to their advantage, but they don't know what verse it is, and they don't know who said it. And then they're like, I think Jesus even said that it's not what goes in the mouth that defiles the body, it's what comes out. And so, I don't think Jesus said that. But I think maybe he did. But like, this isn't, they never considered pigs to be food, though. Jesus didn't eat pork. Like, I asked God to inspire me what to say. Right when I did that, out of my mouth comes, Jesus did not eat pork. Jesus did not eat pork. I prayed before I went, God to inspire me what to say. Out of my lips comes, Jesus did not eat pork. So anyways, this was not recognized as food. Jews, if you were a Jew, you didn't eat pork. So he grew up, and here's the Jews. He didn't eat pork. They didn't even raise pigs for food. And then he allowed evil spirits to possess pigs. Why? Because it's not food. It's not food. And this is something I need to make a separate video about. Like, that's not where I start. I'm not here to have a debate. I'm here to relay a message from the Lord. But if you want to know what type of spirits are in those pigs, look at them. What does a pig look like? What does a pig do? It's fat. It's lazy. It's sitting in its own excrement. So they're overweight. They're lazy. They are greedy. They are gluttonous. They smell bad. They are selfish. And so we need to stop eating pork. You can look around and see they are dirty. They live in squalor. They roll around in their own filth. There is more too, like there are other books that talk about very wicked, evil people that were actually turned into these creatures so that they would be saved from hell. It's like these people, like this whole family tree is going to go to hell. So what it says is that God turned these wicked people into monkeys and pigs, so they did not have to go to hell, and that's why they are detested. If you look at a pig, okay, so if you look at a wild pig out in the middle of Africa or the rainforest or something, that pig does not behave the way that a farm-raised pig does. And, of course, like if an evil spirit wants to possess a pig, it's going to possess a pig that people are going to eat so that those spirits get transferred. It's not going to possess a pig way out in the rainforest that no one's going to eat. You look at those, they're wild, they're fast, they got a lot of energy. But you look at the pigs on the farm, they look like a completely different animal. These are the ones that are made for human consumption, and these are the ones that evil spirits go in because it's an easy back door to possess people. And I don't know, like how long, that the spirits influence you at least. And look at the state of society in the world. It's not helping. That's all I can say. And I already know with the pathogens, they have so many pathogens compared to other meat. Yeah, because those are demons. Those are spirits that are going into people. Anyway, so, like, I actually always think I don't do a good enough job. I didn't have the Bible. I don't know what verse. I don't know what exact verse he was referring to. But I still think, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably did pretty well. Because actually he was a little iffy when he said something. And then I was able to quickly respond with something. But no, I couldn't counter everything. I wasn't prepared. I just biked there, and my feet are freezing. And I'm like, oh, once again it's pork. So that, I guess not surprised. I should just expect every time they have free food, there's going to be ham there. Every single time. This is how the devil attacks me. Because they know that I was planning on eating this food today. And so, now you can't eat. Now you can't eat. But anyways, he tried to defend it with like the New Testament epistles of Paul, and then and I countered it and I said that's talking about low versus high class food, and you know why we're not allowed to eat. And then he said that's your opinion. I said, do you know why we're not allowed to eat it? Because Jesus allowed evil spirits to possess. He says that was back then. I said those same spirits are still possessing the pigs today. I didn't say it like a Karen. I just said it like a normal voice. Like I said, those same spirits are possessing the animals today. And so I held my own, Because actually, when I was there, I didn't go and tell the woman handing it out, I mentioned, oh, the Lord forbids it. Oh, yeah, I went to get it, the sandwich. I said, is there ham on that? She said, not bacon. Oh, it's sausage. And I said, oh, the Lord forbid us to eat pork or something. And then she was a little taken aback, then fine. And then she asked, you want some crackers or something? So in my bag, instead of a hot sandwich, which I wanted, I got 2 packages of peanut butter crackers and two granola bar things. Now I didn't want that because I'm feeling unsatisfied. I wanted that egg sandwich. It's like, you can pick it off. I'm like, no, the Lord forbids us to eat that. This is something else I just thought of, like how the polluted broth. So they put pork in a soup. Even if they take the pork out, the whole broth is now polluted. Anything cooked in the pork meat, in the pork fat, is polluted. So it's probably not as bad. But there is a reason God forbid this, and the Jews didn't eat it. The Muslims don't eat it. It's only the Christians who are lied to. So what has happened is that the devils have gotten in control of the mainstream Christianity. It's like this cult of scientism, where the scientists all decide on what's the truth. Then, like the Christian leadership all get together and they decide what's the truth. The only problem is it's not God's truth. And so then and then the guy was like and he didn't seem bad, but he wasn't like real evil or anything. But I don't know. Maybe he's like just in the middle. Like he's the man next to him seemed like a good person. So I don't know. But then, yes, I understand that can be maybe God told you to do, or that's your belief. This is what I always hear. They say this all the time. And I said, this comes this I don't remember exactly what I said. I said, this is from the Lord. I said, this is from God. So I said, this is from God. And then the other man who had given me the gloves, and he said, just like when I went to give you the gloves, something told me to give you those gloves. And then once they gave me the gloves, I came up and I asked who was responsible to give out the food. So the man was like, something told me to give out, something told me, like, he was inspired to give me the gloves. He said that right there. And I said, well, thank you for doing all this. And he said, like, and just like this, the Holy Spirit can inspire people to say things, or to, the Holy Spirit can inspire things to people. So he was actually kind of defending me here. And yes, this information is from the Lord. This, and I didn't say it mean. I just talked normal. Like this is from the Lord. Like it was just like normal speech, if that makes sense. And then the other man, he was speaking like kind of, and like he had a good argument like ready to go, but he didn't know the verses. He was still a little uncomfortable saying it, but he still did better than most do. And then he asked like and then I said, I'm only responsible to deliver the message and not who will receive it. And so, and then I was still standing there, and he was like, have you been to any churches in this town? I was, oh yeah, I've been to a few. And then I listed off like 3 or 4 different churches, and I said, and another one. I didn't say the name. And I said, what church are you with? His church was like 15 miles away. So I'm like, oh, I'm on a bike. He was like, do you know this church? And then he mentioned the same church. He mentioned the same church that the witches and warlocks invited me to. I think this is the same church. And then I asked them the next week, oh, where's that church? I want to go to it. And they said, oh, we don't really know. Then they didn't know. Because I guess it wasn't ready for me that week. I don't know. But then this man was like, oh, since his church was too far away, then he recommended this one. This was on the same street that the coven, the witches and warlocks were trying to get me to go to the first time. So maybe I'm ready to go to this church. Like, I don't know. Anyways, after I talked to them about the pork, which was probably my mission, it's probably my mission. I got a few toiletries. I got a pair of underwear. I got a cheap pair of gloves, and the man took the warm gloves off his hand, and he gave them to me. God bless you, sir. But anyways, then I saw an agent. I think that the agent guy was there. He did not speak to me. This was after I had already talked, so it wasn't until I spoke to him about the pork. Then I saw he was in his car. He got the sandwich, went to his car. Okay, so he was there. And let's see. Then I'd been there long enough. Nothing else was really going on. There was like other group of people that was talking that were homeless, and the woman there was upset. I think maybe someone treated her wrong or hit her. I don't know if there's cheating involved, something over money. Sounds like just a narcissist. They don't need a reason. They just find a reason. So anyways, it sounded like she was upset, but she was trying to act like a little cool or something, a little tough, but like this is just how they behave too. But she was really upset, and I was just kind of hanging around listening a little bit. I couldn't hear too much. And then at one point, like, because she was talking to 2 guys, they were probably friends, and they knew each other. I didn't really know her. And then I'm kind of seen as the enemy to them, too, because the spirits in them don't like me, and they try to get me. And I said, are you doing okay? And she's like, oh, yeah, So she was. Not in a good situation, but I saw her there, and maybe I'll hear more about that later. I don't know. But I was just kind of hanging over there listening because I didn't know. God sends me places like, oh, here's free food, go here. And then I show up, and then I'm supposed to do something I didn't know about. And so then I'm kind of listening over here, seeing what's going on. Maybe there's something I need to know about. Let's see. And then Then I get on my bike, which I didn't even lock, because it's this bike from the Bikeman. And he said he just got it out of the trash. No, he didn't. This bike is clean. The bike is clean. He did not get it out of the trash. But it's worse condition than a bike from the trash. Anyways, it had like no brakes and the seat was going like this. And then the seat pops off. Normally I would lift it up under the seat to carry it. And then the seat just pops off when you do that. And then, anyways, but I fixed it a little bit. With what I had like a $3 set of wrenches. I had two $3 set of wrenches that I got at like Ollie's or something. And so I was able to do something to it and fix it. And I had a pair of pliers. I was able to fix it enough that it's actually it's rideable, but it's just not good. It's like if you have an old clunky car and it's just putting along. That's this bike compared to my last bike. But it will probably get me where I need to go tomorrow, and I'll have enough time, where I did not have enough time before. So, I'm getting a little bit used to it. So then as I'm leaving on the bike, Bikeman comes up. Bikeman comes up. See, there's the agent. Not until after I mentioned about the pork did he appear. And then not until I'm leaving does Bikeman come up. And then he comes up and he said, hey, I'm going to be at the library most of the day. I was invited to now. Oh, great. I was thinking about going back home, fixing my bike, going to sleep and resting. But now I've got another mission. I have to go to the library. I have to go to the library now. But anyways, then I was already supposed to, so the neighbor, he says like, oh, hey neighbor, and I'll help you, I'll fix your bike for free. He said this, he stood me up the first time. Okay, maybe, he lost track of time. So either he's very unlucky or it's on purpose. It's like, I think it's on purpose. He has shown me the fruits. This time God is not letting me discern it all. I'm only seeing the fruits. And the fruits are, I don't trust this. Anyways, like last night it was dark. When he was trying to get my bike, he was being real rough and violent with it. And then he was like touching dirty stuff and then touching my tire. This is what I mean. So it's like I kind of know. Like, this isn't good. Like, he's stepping on the mesh that goes on my bike basket and just, and then it's not fixed and it's just dirty. And then he's like, I want to put your bike upside down. And then it's like scraping my basket on the concrete. And then my mirror that I installed on there that I purchased, now that's on the ground. And then he's just touching this dirty stuff that was used in my bathroom when sewage was sprayed, and then he's touching my bike wheel. Now it's just the wheel at this point. But anyways, like, this still could have been reasonable. I didn't get upset or anything. Because he only touched the wheel. He didn't touch anything else. And he said, it was getting dark. I don't have any tools. He said, I'm going to come first thing tomorrow and I'm going to fix it. And so I got this free breakfast. He's like, I don't want to interfere with your breakfast. But right after that, so text me or whatever right when you're back and you'll get your bike fixed. And this sounded like he really wanted to help me. So then I get back, my feet are frozen. And I kind of like just sit down and relax for like 5 or 10 minutes before I even contact to let him know I'm back. Because my feet were so cold. And thank goodness I had those gloves. Because maybe my hands would have been too cold if I didn't have them. And then I put on not these ones. I had a pair of black Ugg boots too. I've got several pairs. Actually, this isn't Ugg brand. But, I got some Uggs. And I got some Kookaburra. And I don't know if some are different brand. I've got like 3 pairs of these fuzzy boots, and I'm not rich or anything. Like, they actually have some wear on. I got them all like used on eBay, and several years ago. So I got and some of these I got like 10 years ago. I just like was keeping them, and I'd wear them like if I went out. So I didn't really they were just there waiting for my life to begin. Waiting, but no. So I had things when I was with the devil that I had purchased, and then they were just in the bedroom, so like that was his room, and I slept on the couch, so I didn't even wear them usually. They just stayed in my closet for like 10 years. But then some of like these ones here with the tattoo on them, I did purchase these on eBay, after I separated from the devil while I still had some money. I think one of them's like $15 or $10 plus shipping. So I got these used. Now these probably would have been expensive new. So when I got things used then on eBay, I used to be able to get good deals. Now I can't get any good deals. It's just, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to have used things. I thought maybe I'm only allowed to have new now. Everything I get used is cursed or something's wrong with it anyways. But it used to be good stuff I could get. But anyways, I put my shoes on, and then what does my neighbor say? He was so willing to help. He just came right over. I'm like, right here. And that's why he was like throwing stuff around and trying to fix it. And then he dropped something, and so he's digging through and he's throwing stuff and looking for this nut that he dropped. And then some of that stuff was dirty. He probably didn't know. That's why I'm not going to yell at him. Because he was like, looked like he was putting a lot of energy into trying to get my tire on. But he wasn't able to. That's what I mean. The tire did not easily go on. There's something the matter with this. There's like 4 different screws or nuts on one side and 3 on the other and something else. And then it wasn't, I don't know. I thought I put it in the right order, but it's not going back on the bike. So he couldn't fix it either. And he's worked on bikes. He said, I'm going to come over tomorrow. I'm going to come over tomorrow. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Watching the sun go down. And this is still Sabbath. I'm not getting your health insurance. I cast you out. Cast you out, Satan. Get behind me, Satan. Just Medicare. Okay, anyways. And so you see it's dark now. It is not even 6 o'clock. It is now dark. So that, there's probably still a little light in the sky. So at about 6 o'clock now, Sabbath is ending. It's Saturday night. That means I could go out to the gym if I wanted or something. I don't want to. I'm not going to. I'm just saying, like, I actually could go out and buy something now. What the heck? Oh, the neighbor. And so he was like real tossing stuff around and like trying to get this on, and he couldn't do it. And then I said, you might need a socket wrench because there's like one nut like in the middle of the gear. Because see, I was trying to take the gear off to put it on the other wheel that was good. And then I get pieces off, and then once I get them all off, you need a special tool to get the gear off. And then I go to Advance Auto. They told me to go. Oh, they can't. Like, oh yeah, I had to throw my bike away because I couldn't fix it. But then that was all to get me to walk past this house. Like, it's a block away. There was a guy there, he put a new tube in it. So my life's going to suck, and then probably it's going to be really good later. But I don't know when that is. Anyways, so he seemed like he really neighbor was real gung-ho, wanting to help me. It didn't get fixed. And then I text him, like a few minutes after I get back. I got my other shoes on. I'm warming up a little bit. Because I was just standing outside, and it's less than 20 degrees. I was just standing outside for like an hour, and then I biked there and biked back. So, like, my feet were really cold. Because I just had regular socks and regular boots on. And he says, I gotta go to the hardware store first. My pipe is leaking in my basement. My pipe is leaking. So here's the thing. The neighbor has canceled. He got me real excited. So he was wanting me to get up real early. It was like, I can be there at 9 or 10 o'clock, first thing. Come over there, get your bike fixed. And then, I said, well, actually, there's a free breakfast, and then I'll be there after, okay? So then I contact him, and now he can't come over. So here's the deal. I don't know which one it is yet. God lets me see a lot of things in the spirit. But this, the fruit is showing me that this is not trustworthy. The fruit is showing me that he is dishonest. But then I thought that he had good qualities and bad qualities. Like he's both. That's what I thought. Like he helps people and does stuff, but then he also, does sins and stuff and is not trustworthy. And is maybe greedy and helpful. So it's like good and bad. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. And so then maybe here's number 1. He was lying. And he was lying. Just got my bike dirty, or scraped my basket on the ground and didn't fix it. And then said he'd come over and stood me up. There's option number 1. Option number 2. Option number 2. He came over last night, was being rough with my bike, didn't fix it, stepped on it and got it a little dirty. So God rendered instant karma on him and broke his pipe. It might have broke right then. Because how often do you go in your basement and notice the pipe's leaking? I don't go in my basement. So this would have been last night after the sun was down. he might not have seen it until this morning. So if he was just trying to mess with me and touch dirty stuff, then touch my bike, then he could have got instant karma, and God broke his basement pipe. Now, this is the thing, I don't know. So then if he was still going to come over and help, and then here's another option, is that, here's another option, is he actually was going to come over and help. But God had another way that I was supposed to get this fixed, and this was not the way. So maybe this is not a man of high integrity. He wasn't allowed to have this blessing for helping a prophet of the Lord. If you're a remnant, you're a prophet too. Okay, it's just not just me. I'm not the only one. Other believers too. Okay, if we get helped, God blesses. So sometimes God doesn't want people to be blessed because they've done a lot of bad things. And you know, and maybe sometimes God doesn't want someone to help you because God wants someone else to help you. God wants another solution. Okay, that can happen. It also could be I'm not allowed to have this bike. I don't know. But so either God might have blocked it because this is being, I've already had a couple other missions that required me not to have this bicycle. So it could be I'm just not allowed to have my bike yet. It could be that he actually wanted to help and God stopped him. It could be that he didn't really want to help. He was just trying to get me. And ha ha ha, it wasn't fixed. Oh, I'm busy. And then God could have broke his pipes. So either he lied and didn't have broken pipes and stood me up, or he was, you know, being rough with my bike, didn't fix it, and then God broke his pipes as karma. I don't know, because God did not allow me to see what's going on here. I guess I'll figure it out later. But this is the man that told me what happened to the scammers that worked with Paul of Tarsus. So he sat back and he watched this happen. And he knew it was no good, but he didn't tell me. At the same time, though, I didn't really know him. I just moved. He didn't warn me, and he didn't say anything. So that's what I'm saying, is God probably doesn't want him to be blessed by helping me. Anyways. So this fell through. I stayed up. I checked my emails or something, and then I decided I'm really tired. I want to take a nap. I know I got to go to the library. The library closed at 5. I looked it up. I'm like, oh man. It's like I really just wanted to take a nap and relax. And now I've wasted a little time looking at YouTube. My bike is not fixed. And I'll be able to maybe take an hour-long nap, and then I go to the library again. And I don't have enough food. So, anyways, of course, during my nap, the spam phone calls, like I get a couple of calls, 2 or 3 calls, while I'm trying to take a nap. And, like, I hardly get any sleep, but what I did get felt good. It felt good, but this is horrible. I thought they were done calling. They stopped calling for a while, and then they started again. So, or they normally don't for some reason today. Or maybe, you know what, I haven't even been home. I don't even know. Maybe they call all the time and I'm not here. Let's see here. So that fell through, and then so like at 4, like I had my alarm set for like about 3:30. I get up and actually I lay in bed for like 10-15 minutes with the alarm going off. Then I get up. I'm so tired. I didn't want to get up. I'm like, oh no, but I know it's a mission. So I gotta get up. Bikeman was waiting. They were waiting for me to leave so he could just go by and say, I'm going to be at the library today. So I had to go. Okay, so then I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready, and it's like a little bit after 4 when I leave my house, take the bike, and I head to the library on this bike that sucks, and then it's uphill. Of course, it's uphill. Why does it have to be uphill to get to the library and to get to the soup kitchen? I don't have an e-bike. This is not an electric bike. Like, I gotta pedal this. And this bike is not very good. It's just my other one. It's like I get tired biking up this hill. I don't want to bike up. Every time I leave my house, I gotta go uphill. This is like a half mile. Up the hill, a half mile to get to, and then of course the library, it's just right at the top of this hill. Then, you know, I'm just gonna go, I'm on the road. This bike is kind of slippery on the ice. It's not as good as my other one. And, the brakes aren't as good as the other one, which the brakes weren't perfect on that either. And I just slowly bike in and let people go around me. Just slowly biking up the hill. There's not too many people on the road because it's the weekend. Go to the library, and then there's a man on there's like a rack that might be a bike rack right in front. And then there's someone else. A man comes out. He gets his bike and he's leaving, and I'm going slow. Of course, there's a high. There's like a steep hill. So I got to the library, and then you turn into the driveway for the library, and then there's a steep hill up. So then I'm like biking slow. I'm like, oh, like this, and I'm just going like this up the hill as I approach the bike rack. There's a man there. He's getting his bike off, and then and I'm kind of like waiting, like I don't know, 5 feet away or something, just kind of. And then as he's leaving, and he's being polite, but as he's leaving, I'm like, this bike's not very good, so but at least I probably don't have to worry about anyone stealing it. And so he said something to me, and then I could tell by his accent he was Haitian. He was Haitian. I'm not sure. This might have been a Haitian from the Elm Street Church of Nazarene. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure. Did I just tell you too much? I might have. Well, I don't know. But they had a guest speaker there the first time I went. And maybe I'm completely wrong. Because I was sitting all the way in the back and I couldn't see him very well. But I heard his voice and I could see him a little bit. He was like way up. But I think this man coming out of the library might have been the man that was at the church speaking the first time I went. And then, and he moved his bike a little bit as he got it off, and then I just sat mine. I didn't even lock it. This bike is junk. Nobody wants to steal this. Like, if they want to break it, all they have to do is pull a line, and then I can't use it. I mean, sure, well, you know what I mean. Like the brake again. But I already rode it with no brake on the way home, in the dark, on the road. God was watching me there. Big line of cars behind me, and a cop. And a cop. They did this before when I said insta karma. And then there was cop, like right where they would have tried to get me. Anyways, thank you. The police have actually done more good for me in my life than bad. They have harassed me when I was younger, but how much of that was witchcraft by my family and when I was with the devil? He probably cast spells on me, stole like the appearance of my morality and switched it and then made me look like a lowlife. And then he was like prancing around in my identity. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Because, see, this man is not, like, there were some immigrants that lived nearby me, and I tried to say hello, but they didn't know English, and we could not communicate. I went to say hello, and they just sat there and didn't say anything. I'm like, and then I didn't like that. This man, he was, like, doing things, he was teaching kids, and he was at the library. And so he could speak some English, he could speak English, and it was pretty good. So that's just like, it's not that the people, this is what the government does. And like, so narcissists get in control of the government and they just want to cause trouble. Or they want to pit people against each other. We're not supposed to be enemies. It's God's people versus the devil's people. But I just wonder if this is the man from the church. Maybe he doesn't recognize me. Maybe he has no idea. Maybe he'll just mention it in passing. Maybe he'll mention it in passing, like, because a girl came up on the bike and said that the bike doesn't work very good, so maybe I don't have to worry about anyone stealing it. Maybe that'll get around at the church, and they'll be like, wait, what did she look like? Like, oh, that's her. Maybe they'll remember me. Because I went there a few times, and then I haven't gone recently, because another church invited me. So I'm not trying to find my home yet, okay? I don't know if I have a home. I don't know that I have a home. But I did, if I had to pick, that church was more fun. They're witches and warlocks, they walk around there, they do whatever. But that church is more fun. I enjoyed, and they were really spreading the joy of the Lord there, though, too. So that church was more fun than the others. I will say that. Anyways, but that's not what I'm supposed to do. God has me just, I'm not allowed to go someplace and be comfortable. I'm sent to different places, and I just do whatever. And I don't know what it is till I get there. Let's see what this is. Okay, so then I went in the library, and I didn't see any other bikes, so I'm thinking, oh, Bikeman's probably not here. And I go in, and I look around. There's no Bikeman. And it's Sabbath, so I'm not talking to the people at the counter. I'm not checking anything out. It would be, it closes at 5, so I had less than an hour. I had like 45 minutes or 40 minutes or something. So, Bikeman said he was going to be there. I thought, if he's there, he's going to be there still. Because, he's pretending to be a homeless. And so a lot of homeless people don't have heat. So they come to the library during the day and it's nice and warm in there and they got couches and they got like quiet rooms. So they come in and so he's pretending to be a homeless. Anyways, he wasn't there. Surprise, surprise, he wasn't there. This was just another like a bait to get me to the library. He got me to meet him at the library to get the bike before, but then he left. So it wasn't to get the bike. It was to get me to the library and then I got a card. And then he sent me to the library again the next day. Now, I looked at the reviews for this library. And people like this library, but then there were 2 recent reviews in the last few years that are bad. 2 bad reviews. And one of them is like, because there's a menacing guy, like people, dirty, like eating in there and being rude. Okay, narcissist, yeah. So what's happened is the homeless people don't have a place to go. They go to the library. And they're causing trouble for the people at the library. But they can't do very much there. They have to be quiet and there's no food. Okay, these are the people that are at the soup kitchen trying to get me. And there's probably still good in these people. Okay, hopefully they can repent. But right now there's spirits in them. They're going to the library. Somebody left a horrible review. And I read it. I'm like, yep, I know what this is. The homeless people, they if they're close enough to the library, they go and stay in the library during the day. And let's see. Anyways, as I walk in and I'm looking and there's no Bikeman to be found, then the medicine man turns and he sees me. And the medicine man had seen me at the soup kitchen a few days ago. And he's like, hey, I think, is that you? He's like, oh, I thought that was you. He was like being nice and stuff. This was the man that was at the church breakfast on Sunday. And we were talking and he played like maybe banjo or something. I mentioned for him to bring it in, but anyways. He was at the Free Sunday church breakfast. And then he saw me at the soup kitchen. He's like, oh, he wasn't sure it was me. And he's like, is that? I'm like, yeah. And he said, I was going to bring you a medicine pouch, a medicine bag. I made you a medicine bag. Every time they give me something, it's cursed. I wonder what kind of curse is on this. What kind of curse is on this? I don't know. That's why God has warned me. This God has given me a warning. Oh my gosh. So then I just walk by him looking for Bikeman. Then he turns around. He's like 5 feet away. And he's like, oh, hello. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, this is like a video game. I can't even make this up. He's like, I'll see you tomorrow. He made me a medicine bag. Waiting to give that to me at the church tomorrow. Oh boy. What's going to happen if I take this? I don't know. What should I do? I'm going to go and I'm going to do it. And if it's a curse, I guess it's a teaching, like a learning experience. Anyways, so then I was sent there. And so this man likely goes, he likely goes to the library, something to do, it's warm, okay? He's at the soup kitchen, he's at the free breakfast. But maybe he is a high-level warlock, isn't what it's looking like, if he's making the medicine bag. He's got it waiting for me. He thought about bringing it to the soup kitchen, but he wasn't sure if I was the same person. So, like, he was brought, and he might not even go, but, like, he might not even go regularly. But I'm saying is, I think he was sent in, somebody sent him after me, possibly. Or maybe he was already targeting me, and we just had never met. So, I don't know, but that was the whole point. And then I just walked around, and I looked and saw what there was, and I walked up to the second floor and looked at the kids section, and it looked really nice. It was just real, and they were like, hello, and I said, hello back, yeah, it's Sabbath. I didn't check anything out, I didn't do anything. Then the woman behind the desk said hello, and I said, hello, and I took a tissue, and she said hello. And oh, no, I guess I shouldn't have taken the tissue. Because you're not allowed to cause somebody to work, to buy or sell. But I was invited to the library, and then I thought, I'm not buying or selling, and I'm not going to check out any books. I'm just going to go in. But then the woman was like, hello, and then I took, maybe taking the tissues, Lord, I repent if taking the tissue was breaking the Sabbath. I don't think it was. I mean, maybe she would have said hello anyways, but I don't think so, because people normally don't, so maybe I shouldn't have taken it. But it was like a real tissue, not like a napkin I get from the soup kitchen, so I couldn't help myself. Anyways, they had the tissues up there with the children, and they weren't down in the lower part. So, I thought about it, like, do I take this or not? but I just walked past it, saw the tissue. So, I don't know. Like, maybe I should have done better. But Lord, this is the thing. To be 100%, like, I don't think this is a sin, but I'm saying is, I could have done better if when I walked past that tissue, I didn't take it. And I stayed back from the person at the counter. Stayed back a little more, didn't take that tissue, because then she had to say hello to me, and that caused her to work. I would do that in the future. But here's the thing. Look at my situation. I'm not buying tissues. I have to go and get free tissues whenever I can, which I reuse them, and I use them for other things. And, Lord, if I'm restored, my house is clean. Like, maybe I'm not alone. Like, just, if anything changed, like, let's say, if something changed where I had a real friend that wasn't a homeless, if I had, like, a partner that wasn't a homeless, if I had money to go and buy, because I got some money for Satan Claus, which I was put into my account to pay my property tax with. So I need to have money in my account to pay my property tax so I can stay in my house. Actually, I said I would file an extension. Maybe I'll do that. Anyways, like, and if I had some money, then I could go buy some tissues. If I had a vehicle, I could get in my car and drive to the store and buy some tissues. But no. Like, God puts me in this situation on purpose, so I shouldn't have taken it. I had a napkin in my bag I could have used. I just may be being selfish. Like, I want a real tissue. And, I use these and they're gone and I need more. I should have left it. I guess next time, maybe during Sabbath next time, I won't take the tissue if there's an employee right there and it'll cause them to have to do work. Anyways, so this was so weird. It's like I was told that they waited for me. Like, they were there. They knew when I mentioned the pork. Then the agent appeared. Then as I'm leaving, then Bikeman appears. Like, this is all totally planned. And then I'm like, oh. And then the phone kept ringing. And, Anyways. So when this is done, now I have been notified of a mission. I'm going to say, too, there was a kids section downstairs. They had coloring sheets for children. And right on the top were crystal skulls. With, like, flowers in their eyes. I took a couple. Maybe I'll put that in the next video because there's enough in here. And I took some of those. I'm like, that's weird. Why are there crystal skulls here for children? Like, skulls for children to color. So I took a couple. It just seemed a little evil. Maybe it'd make sense if it was Halloween or... Excuse me, I'm hiccuping. So then, like, I'm leaving, there was a car there, and then I start to go, like, down, then I decide to turn around and go the other way. Instead of getting back on the main road, I'm just gonna go, like, through the parking lot and go out that way. And then the car was... So maybe there was a car there and they were watching me. Because it seemed like when I came out, then they were, like, their car was on and they were gonna leave. And then I start to go that way, and then they start to leave. So they might have been spying on me. I do think maybe not. But, my bike was still there. The whole time I was in there, I just left the bike. I didn't even lock it up. No one messed with it. I think I might not even lock this one because it sucks. This bike sucks. I think maybe somebody would try to steal it, and then they would just leave it. Because maybe that's what I'm not even going to lock this. I'm going to see. Because, it's technically not even, like, the guy said he gave it to me. I said, I'll give it back after I get my charity bike. I'll give it back. Watch, I'll get some charity bike that's awful. Like, it doesn't have any gears and it's slow. I don't know. But I prayed to God, oh my God, unless this is a mission, and I need to give me my favorite bike out of all the bikes. And I prayed this. So we'll see. But anyways, it's got to be better than this one. Because actually, I like the frame and everything on it. It's just like the gears and the brakes and things were destroyed. And then the seat even is broken. So, I mean, it works, like, to sit on now. I got it to stabilize. But I can't lift it the way I normally would. And I don't really like lifting it just because, I don't know. It's just such in a state of disrepair. I don't want to accidentally mess up the brake lines by moving it. Anyways, but it was a little better today. So maybe if I continue using this, it'll be fine. When I'm towards, and Sabine, they watch where I'm going. So maybe this person was watching when I left the library. And then I'm coming towards my house. My house is like, I don't know, a little bit more than a mile away. And I bike down the hill, and I get near my house. This is so weird. There is like a USPS van here, and then a USPS like a smaller SUV here, and then a USPS van here. Right across the street from my house is the USPS van. And then there's the end of the block, and then there was the SUV, the USPS SUV there. And so I'm on my bike, and I kind of like stop and I swirl around. This is weird. They're like stationed right around my house. It's just weird. And then I look at it, then I got this note out. But I didn't have my pen. I'm like, oh shoot. I was going to write the name, the number. The number on that USPS van. It was like something 22, something 22. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm going to say something else. I'm going to add these numbers up. Hold on. When I add up all the numbers that were on this truck, it is number 17. Freaking. So this like, is anything real? Is anything real? The big mail truck, it was right across the street from my house. Right across the street from my house stopped. And then like my house is kind of like the last house on this block, but the block, so my street goes straight, but then it goes like there's a T and there's a block. So then there's like a SUV, the post office SUV there, and then right in front of my house, like right across the street, is the post office van. And it's got number 22 on it, and the numbers all add up to a 17. Swear to the Lord. Okay. I actually saw it again later, and I wrote it down. Divine intervention. And then they're out there, and then I'm on my bike, and I kind of pull in my driveway, and I'm looking. So first I swirl around, and I'm just looking around like, this is weird. And I just look, and then some cars go by, and then I start to go up my driveway, and I stop it. And I see, because there's the mail woman, and there's another man, and they're walking around, they're talking. And I said, what's going on? Did you miss a and they were like walking back and forth trying to track something. Like, it looked like they were trying to find a missing package, or I thought maybe someone had a package stolen. And like, did you lose a package or something? And like, no, the woman had lost her keys. The mail woman had lost her keys. And I was trying to help her find. She said she walked up, like it was a small area right at my house. You remember when I bought something on Temu? I bought a coat on Temu. You see that bag right there? Oh my God, I can't do this. I can't. You see, my Temu bag right there? That's my Temu bag. Okay, I haven't even opened it. I ordered a coat. I got like a credit on Temu. They sent me the wrong Jesus hat. And then I got a coupon. I went and I ordered a winter coat on there. That wasn't long. Because my ones I got like a year or so ago on Temu were real nice and warm. But they're knee length. And I can't use that on a bicycle. Like, I got these thinking I'd have a car again. I don't. I'm on a bike. So I can't use them on my bike. So then I was looking for a good coat that was like shorter. That I can ride a bicycle wearing. And so I ordered it. It's in that bag. She was delivering my Temu coats. Like, this God wanted me to buy stuff on Temu, apparently. I guess so. It's like, I get to experience the world now. I was trying to be all moral, not buying anything imported, not eating any GMOs, doing it all right, trying to be healthy, follow the law, not sin, doing all this crap. Now, God has me eating GMOs at the soup kitchen and buying stuff made in China at Temu. And this was part of my testimony today. Is I got a coat in that's why it's so big. I ordered a winter coat on Temu. I hope it fits. Like I didn't even try it on yet, so I hope it fits. I got a medium, so. Anyways, and I had to spend a certain amount to get a coupon. I got a winter coat, and then there's a bike stand. So that's nice. Now my bike is broken. So it's something like because my kickstand wasn't very good, and my wheel, and sometimes it almost fall over. And so this is just like a low, it's just like a little bike stand that keeps your wheel straight. It's like, oh, this will be useful, because my bike kept almost falling over. And when I want to do something, then the tire swivels. Anyway, so I got a bike stand in there too. So this takes weeks to arrive. This had to be planned out in advance. I don't order a lot. Um, I don't buy stuff every day. I don't. Um, this was my Temu haul. Like, I purchased this um I maybe have something shipped like once a month or something. I don't order very much. So right when my Temu, she lost her keys delivering my Temu package. Um, and then I was just out. I was trying to help her find it. She said, I've looked all over and can't find it. And I looked too. It was gone. So I think there's a little witchcraft. There's maybe a little angel. Angel came and took her key. Because I looked. It was gone. It was gone. And the number on that, this is 17. 22s and 17s. Her keys are gone. And then they have to send another employee out and take the packages off of her vehicle, put it on a different one, and deliver them. And she was, and then, we were just standing out there by her van, and I went over by that side to look, see if the key was over there. So I think maybe God sent an angel. They took the key and flew off with it. Okay, but and then she was talking a little bit, and like she wanted to hurry up and go, because her mother was at the hospital, and I just asked a little bit, and her mother, she said her mother had like her liver or her kidneys were failing. It was really bad. And I said, and I asked if she wanted me to pray for her, and so I'm going to. Not yet. I'm going to eat first. The name of her, and I thought maybe is this the homeless woman? She mentioned the name of and then I'm like, oh, I met someone a couple weeks ago that was named that. And she said, well, that wouldn't be her. She hardly gets out. She can hardly walk. And I said, this woman couldn't either. So I don't think it's the same woman, but it's the same name. Said she could hardly walk, and I think she had failing organs too. Maybe it is the same woman. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. But it's the same name. And now God sent me there, this divine intervention, to pray for that woman. So, everybody, pray for this woman, the mother of the postal employee who has, it's either failing kidney or failing liver. I didn't have my pen and I forgot. I'm not good with names and numbers. So I think it's either a liver or a kidney. It's going bad. I think it's stage 3 or stage 4. Liver or kidney failure. And pray for her that she gets healed. So that was meant to happen. Anyways, as I was biking to the library, there was a young man who was coming. He might have been a spotter, or I don't know. Maybe he was just a random person that was going. So my neighbor that was supposed to help me fix my bike? I think this young man might know that neighbor, and he just happened to be going by as I was leaving on my bike. So if this was an attack by the neighbor, like, oh, I got her. Okay, yes, I'm on a crappy bike that hardly runs. Okay, that's true. But I was still leaving and cycling, and from a distance, that bike looks nice. And so then here's the young man, maybe a teenager, like in high school, coming down towards the neighbor's house. Now, I'm just guessing, because he looks like it. I've seen some young guys like that down at the neighbor's house before. So I just think he's probably heading there. And he's got his eyes out, and they know me. So he sees me leaving. So the neighbor did not come. He did not fix my bicycle. Either he really did have a leak in his basement, and that's a big deal. Or he lied and was trying to get me. And then, this young man comes down, heading to his house, and sees me just leaving on a bike, and I start to go. And I did not contact him. I did not whine and cry. So I guess that's a win. And, it does get me a little faster. It does get me places a little faster, so I'll probably have time to do my mission tomorrow. God will get me where I need to be. And also, they did mention, and if you can't fix your bike, maybe we can give you a ride. This is the first time they mentioned it at this other church I just went to. So, if you can't get it fixed, we can give you a ride. Oh, that was very nice of you. I'm going to try to bike down there tomorrow. But maybe, if God wants me to keep going, then I will take a ride. I'm just going to say. But, they didn't offer it right. This is why it's kind of trustworthy. Because, the devils, they always try to, the people, witches and warlocks, they always try to get me, they always want to give me a ride. And right away they offer it. Okay, so nobody actually wants to help me at all. So they offer right away. It's like identifying themselves. But these people didn't. I saw them a few times. So the first time they gave me their card, then I went to their church twice. And then after that, then I said, I don't know if I can get my bike fixed. And then they mentioned, if you can't get it fixed, maybe we can give you a ride. So, they were not trying to give me a ride. This is not witchcraft. Okay? So anyways, that's a good sign. Um, I've got a package of hot dogs. I think I've had them for like 2 months. I got them like a week or so before I started going to the soup kitchen. And I was saving them. The soup kitchen's not open on the weekend. I was saving them like because when I run out of food on the weekend, I don't have anything to eat. I'm going to eat those hot dogs. Well, they were supposed to have breakfast. What I got is there was this little juice thing, and it was like fluorescent yellow. And I was like, oh, I'll try that. They said it was juice. No, it's not. But actually, God has me eating the food of the people. That's why I'm getting fat. So getting me fat. And then, so I drank, it actually tasted pretty good. It was like candy, like liquid candy. It tasted pretty good. I did like that. And then I got 2 packages of those. They're like cheese crackers with peanut butter in them. I never liked those. I used to get those, like my father would buy those for my lunches, like to go in my lunch. And I never liked them. But actually, I was kind of hungry, so they weren't bad. They weren't bad. I just don't really like them. And then they had these 2, they were like cinnamon toast crunch granola bars. Well, those were pretty good too. They're candy bars. But like I normally would have liked those things had I real food too, but I didn't have real food, so they weren't very good. They weren't very good because I really wanted like the egg sandwich. But then they had to ruin it and put pork on it. But I told him. I guess I'll have good food later at some point. See, was there anything else on my list here? So I've got a meeting with the medicine man. Let's see. Just turned around and it's like, oh, hello. I'll see you tomorrow. Like, what? This is like straight out of a video game. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. Okay, there's probably more. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. God bless the world.